Welcome to coinpicker.us, where I dive into the details to tell you where the markets are headed, not where the crypto markets have already been. So this is the site coinpicker.us. That .us is critical. Just go ahead and click on this, get signed up for the daily report on the top trending cryptocurrencies that will be predicted to rise in the near term. And I use an algorithm, a custom written algorithm that tells me which coins are going to be rising today. Well, let's take a quick look at coinmarketcap.com and cover some of the coins I've already talked about and see where they're at, as well as where the market is overall. One of the things I mentioned in my last video was I did not like this chart pattern at all. It indicated to me that we had more downside probability than upside. Thus far, that seems to be the case. But of course, today is kind of a dead day in the United States. The big thought in the market that I've heard from many YouTubers as well, the Wall Street bonuses are coming out, and that's going to drive the market higher. If we have reached a point where there is a one-off event that drives the market, that is an indicator to me, strong one, that the market is reaching a top level. The total Wall Street bonuses might be 25 billion. It could be a bit more, could be a little bit less, but let's call it around 25 billion. That's what they were in 2016. The total market capitalization we're dealing with is right at $700 billion, with a total volume of nearly 40 billion on a down day. It could be, I could see on high days it might be 100 billion. The point of it is that 25 billion, while it will certainly have an impact, we're not going to get all of it by a long shot, but it will certainly have an impact, is not a reason in my book, A, to buy, and B, to expect us to crest the 830 billion that we were at, which means that I'm holding on to what I said before, that I think while we might get above, let's see here, we might get above this point, and hopefully we do. If we do, then we have broken out of the temporary downtrend, and we will likely scale that point. I am long-term bullish, as I've said. I'm not concerned that this market is going away. I'm not concerned that we're going to zero or anything like that. I'm long-term bullish. I'm just informing those and taking my own decision to reorient my portfolio and not expecting massive returns at necessarily the top end of the market. I'm still looking for the growth stories, and I want to talk a bit about that today. So nothing has changed my opinion on what I said on the previous video, that I see a potential downtrend continuing for a while until we can crest these local points, which is roughly 750 billion. Once we crest 750 billion, I'll feel much better that I would buy in heavily, and I would expect us to get back over the 820 billion. But at this point, I don't see that happening immediately. Could happen, and I hope it does, but I don't see it happening immediately. But if it does, I will certainly change my tune. I'm not out of the market, and I don't recommend anybody else get out of the market. Of course, this isn't financial advice. I'm just telling you. Just saying that I've reoriented toward the more secure currencies, which I would consider to be Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, PivX, while we ride out this market. I've also pulled out of some of the more speculative coins that I was in, Tron, things like that. I told everybody when I sold out of Tron, Verge, and I've reoriented toward newer stories in the market. I'm going to cover some of those that I've already talked about. And man, gotta admit, I've knocked a couple out of the ballpark here. Viewly was a great return for anybody who went into it from what I talked about. Coinlancer has been on a tear lately, and again, my channel is way too small, doesn't have anywhere near the reach to influence it, so I'm certainly not pumping it, and I didn't even buy in. But Coinlancer bounced up dramatically, and now it's settled down somewhat, but I will be buying into it. I haven't bought in, but I like everything that they're doing. I like their approach, and the site is beautiful, the marketing is on point, and I continue to see strong upside for Coinlancer, although obviously it took somewhat of a drop here. But from when I mentioned it to here, there was a good 70% run up in just a day or two, which is fantastic. Micro money is not following through as quickly as I would like them to, so they're treading water at this point. I mentioned micro money already, and I also mentioned that I pulled out of Viewly, and I'm just watching it. So micro money is treading water. Some of the most detailed business reports I've seen from any project are on the Micromoney site. However, they're not delivering the software as quickly as would be ideal. So what, well, actually it had a major run up, didn't it? Now that I look at it, it had a major run up. So it definitely jumped up very high from where after I had mentioned it. Wow, that's great. So anybody who chose to sell out up here has made money. It's coming back down and retracing, but it's still somewhat of an uptrend. So I think Micromoney is a potential uptrend. Now, some coins that I have bought into that I'm very excited about, Pirl. And I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just telling you I have invested in Pirl and am planning to hold on to. And I invested today because it had dropped significantly. It had gone up a lot, and now it's dropped significantly. Very positive approach from the project team, and I've read through it in detail. It could still drop more, and I wouldn't doubt it. Let's see where it's at on a 1 month time frame. Let's see where it's at. And then I'm going to run through some quick analysis. Okay, yeah, it could definitely still recover some more, but I think this is a relatively safe entry point, and I've entered. So Pirl, and I may buy some more. Pirl has an interesting approach, very small circulating supply, a steady social presence. Here we go. Steady. See, it's just recently released that. Another one 10 hours ago, and I'm impressed with Pirl's approach. They're not an Ethereum token. They've created their own system, and anything that's a platform-based currency or project, I'm all for. Example, EOS, Stratus, Next, Neo, NEM, ARC is becoming that way. Ardor is that way. Obviously, Ethereum Classic. All of these have much higher utility than the average token does, or the average coin. So I'm very high, very high on Pirl. And I'm also very high on Walton. I think Walton has intellectual property regarding IoT, Internet of Things. Nobody else has. Nobody's going to be able to touch. They have also gotten the single biggest customer they could possibly get to work with them already in China's, I think it's China Mobile. And I think they're on a downward day today, which is a great time to buy. Great time to buy. Of course, it goes against our instinct, but it's a great time to buy. They had a moonshot, drop down here. I bought in. They may go down a little bit farther. I could see them actually dropping all the way down here. However, they're showing great activity. They have a very low supply, extremely low supply. I am a strong believer in Walton at this point. And considering the size of the market that they are playing in and the partners that they are ready to deal with, because once you have China Mobile, you can go to any company on the planet and say, we're already working with China Mobile, and they'll say, wow, we're happy to work with you, thank you for even calling us. This could be, in my opinion, once they improve some of their deliverables and keep moving the projects forward, they could shift this a digit. This could move over a digit. That's what I say. I say Walton could be a 10x project. I don't know when, maybe a year or 2 years, but it could easily be a 10x project. So I'm a buyer and holder. I'm not recommending anybody else do that. I'm just saying what I did. Now, let's get to the big market picture. Bitcoin, based on my indicators, and I'm on TradingView, wonderful site. Based on my indicators, still has more downside potential momentum than upside momentum. But effectively, for a time period that we're in 1 day. Let's go to a week and see what we're seeing. Yeah, slightly more downside than upside momentum, and probably in a muddle along this period frame. So I wouldn't expect any big moves from Bitcoin immediately. Now, at some point, they're going to announce the Lightning Network integration, and I think Bitcoin will finally have the liftoff a lot of us have been waiting for and predicting, but it's not at this point, so I wouldn't look at it right away. Let's go to Ethereum, actually right here. Ethereum is still on a positive uptrend, though it is tending towards a down point of that trend. So it's still on a positive uptrend, but tending towards a down point of that trend. Unless we reverse course, Ethereum's price is going to continue to drop. Now that's on a daily scale, which seems to be exactly what's playing out. On a weekly scale, dramatic, massive uptrend still in place. So for those of us, myself included, I own Ethereum. Not a lot, but I do own some. For those of us that are more longer term and not day trading or anything like that, we're still in a positive uptrend, and we are losing some momentum to the upside, which is to be expected in a down market generally. However, we're still on a positive uptrend generally. So Ethereum, much better buy at this point than Bitcoin. And that's what I said in my last video, and that has turned out to be the case. I haven't looked into Litecoin. I know we have a lot of Litecoin fans out there, so let's take a look at Litecoin. I'm a Litecoin fan. I hold Litecoin. Let's see what it's doing. Litecoin USD. We'll take a look at that. Litecoin is positive, but steeply downtrending. So it's got a positive uptrend, but steeply downtrending, so it's reverse course. If this continues, as it appears to be continuing, Litecoin will have down momentum as it appears to have. Let's see where Litecoin is right now. Let's see here. Okay, Litecoin, yeah, slight downward momentum, but we're not in any danger of Litecoin disappearing in my book at this point. So it's slight downward momentum, which has been the case. Although the buyers have a bit more control than the sellers at this point. However, we are going to more than likely go towards the zero unless we get a sharp reversal. So the entire market picture is one of trending with a downward bias. And that means that in order for us to grow our portfolio, we have to avoid the more speculative assets. I'll give you an example. I said in one of my videos that Smart Cash, when it was rocketing it was up 90% a day. Okay, anybody who followed my video, and I'm sure it was a couple of days, just within a couple of days, anybody who followed my video said, I said distinctly do not buy. We were right around here. Distinctly do not buy. It's going to drop. And that's exactly what has happened. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Whenever you have that kind of an up leg, more than likely you're going to get a severe correction, which is what's happened. It's not to say Smart Cash is a bad project. I was not thoroughly impressed with their site. I wasn't impressed. Their site is good looking. It's just what they described was not precise enough for me to indicate to anybody else, including my own decision process, that they had a viable project that presented unique opportunities. It did not appear to present unique opportunities to me at all. In fact, a lot of it read like a socialist or communist manifesto. But that's my take on it. You may love Smart Cash. I'm not against it. It's just not what I consider to be the best purchases or the best investments. That's why I went into Walton. Certainly more expensive, potentially less upside at this point, certainly lower beta, but at a longer term buy, we've all seen projects go from $10, $20, $30 up to $180, $190 or higher. Neo is one that's done that, and many others have done that. Obviously, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin. So Walton, I thought, was a better move. Pearl, I think it's definitely a better move. I still like BitBay, as a matter of fact. So that's the update for today. I went a little long. Once again, please subscribe to the channel first, then sign up at coinpicker.us, and I will send you my coin reports along with the price trend indicators that will predict which coins are going to be rising in the very short term for day traders and in the longer term for people who are trading weeks, months, that kind of thing. And that should do it. We'll talk with you tomorrow.